Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Noah, and I wanted to welcome all of you to another installment of Monologue Monday here on my YouTube channel. Monologue Monday. In this episode of Monologue Monday, I wanted to discuss what I believe is one of the biggest time wasters in people's lives. With that being said, let's get into this installment of Monologue Monday. So for this episode of Monologue Monday, I wanted to discuss what I personally believe people waste too much of their time on, and how wasting too much of your time on something like this is inevitably not going to lead you to be probably the best version of yourself. Before I get into my number one time waster that I think people kind of fall into or fall victim to, I do want to clarify that I believe there are quite a few examples of time wasters in life. Everybody can, I think of some of them, but this is probably, in my opinion, the most prominent one. And this, of course, is this idea or this commitment of keeping up with events, current events that really don't impact your life. Ever since the inception of the smartphone, I think there's been this kind of propensity towards rabbit holes within the world, right? Which can be a good thing, right? It's good to learn about things that are kind of outside of your wheelhouse. But I think where it's currently at this point is that people are so involved with other people's lives, right? The lives of people that they will likely never meet, never talk to, even through a message or anything like that. An example would be celebrities, right? So people, this is kind of the keeping up with the Kardashians, that I've kind of talked about in other videos as well, but this idea that people care more about this life of the Kardashians more than they care about their own, right? They spend so much time infatuated with what's going on there, when in reality they will never meet them, they will never know them on a personal basis, and they will never actually experience anything other than keeping up with their life through their phone or computer. And I think this translates to other topics as well, not just celebrities. Another example that I can think of are politics, right? So this is obviously a pretty hot topic in the United States currently with, election season, whatever. I personally kind of don't keep up with it, right? And this is kind of by my own decision, and it's, worked well for me. But I think a lot of people throughout their life spend so much time trying to, maybe pick apart the other party, or, do this, or read this news, read this video, or watch this video. The list goes on and on and on. I can't even, there's not enough time in this video for me to talk about all of it. But the short story is that people involve themselves into politics as if they were the ones coordinating the election, right? They always have something to say about this, about that, about this, talking poorly about this party, this person, that person, and inevitably it takes up a huge amount of time. And this time, similar to, my first example, keeping up with celebrities, or the lives of celebrities, is that ultimately, sure, you will cast your vote, but are you going to really know what's going on, right? Are you going to know these people, know these players? Are they going to know you? Not really, right? So I know there's probably a few of you out there thinking that, it's good to get involved with that kind of stuff, and that's completely fine. But from my own personal experience talking with people, and the way I kind of look at it is that, when you invest that much of your time into something that, comes down to just one vote, it may not be the best use of your time. The third example that I want to share is, I think, something that a lot of us can probably relate to, and I've heard it being called a few different things, but it's this idea of scrolling just to scroll, right? So this is obviously talking about being on your phone and just continuing to scroll aimlessly, mindlessly scrolling for hours and hours and hours. So it kind of encompasses the first two examples, right? You could see celebrity stuff on there. You could see political stuff, whatever it may be. You could see cooking stuff, whatever. But generally speaking, these media companies, these social media companies, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, I mean, whatever it may be, they want to keep you engaged, right? They want to keep you scrolling. So they're throwing all of these different things that are kind of outside of your wheelhouse, right? Outside things that you might not even care about. And so sometimes, yes, you might find a reason to kind of look into it, right? If it throws a new sport at you or a new hobby and you become interested in it, I think that can be good. But I think a lot of the scrolling that takes place is very much mindless. It's just random stuff, random videos, sequences with music and some editing and so on, and people will scroll and scroll and scroll for hours and hours and hours of every single day. And this time, like the first two examples, doesn't really go anywhere, right? I think a lot of times, certainly, like I said, there are examples where you could be scrolling and find something that you really are interested in. I do want to acknowledge that, but I think the majority of it is this mindless scrolling where you finally put your phone down and you didn't gain anything from that scrolling, right? You sit there and you realize that you watched, a couple TikToks with some music and some editing, like I said, and some pretty colors and, some attractive person or whatever. But at the end of it, you didn't gain anything from all of that scrolling when on the flip side, you could have used that hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it may have been, throughout the course of a day, maybe even more than that, on something more productive. And that's a transition that I want to use to kind of come up with a solution for what we should be doing with all of this time that we invest into things that really don't matter that much. So instead of consuming all of this different media, the gossip, the politics, whatever it may be, or the random things that the algorithm might throw at us, I am a proponent for actually utilizing this time to augment yourself, right? Using this time to work on your hobbies. Maybe you want to maybe use this time to learn something new, right? To consume art in, a literature form or a visual form, to kind of look at the world a different way, right? Using this time to just walk, right? Just walk around the park, walk around the neighborhood, bike around the neighborhood to kind of think of yourself, right? I think a big thing that people don't do that much is being kind of introspective, like looking into their own life and seeing what they can be doing better, reflecting on the mistakes that they've made throughout life and trying to figure out ways that they can be better. There's so many different ways that we can use our time more efficiently, right? When we have an extra hour in the morning, 2 hours, instead of sitting on our phone just aimlessly scrolling, maybe we get food ready for lunch early on, right? Maybe we get involved with a sport that, during the summer, there's no better time to get involved with sports during the summer. Or maybe you, like I said, maybe you do something as simple as you just go for a 40-minute walk or something like that. And I think this is something that people are kind of steering away from. I truly believe that we are getting into a time where instead of doing things that actually matter, we're consuming things that don't matter. And I think that's going to eventually be kind of a toxic habit, if it isn't already, that people adapt with the way that social media and cellular devices, work right now. So of course, the point in this video is to ideally take a little bit more time away from these more mindless activities that ultimately don't matter in the grand scheme of things, to put that time into yourself. Work on your fitness, work on your mental health, work on your hobbies, right? Work on your passions, and not just aimlessly consume all of the media, the gossip, and the lives of people that ultimately won't matter to you. But of course, I want to hear from you guys as well. What do you guys think of my thoughts on this consumption of things that ultimately don't matter in our life? And also what we could be doing better in order to augment ourselves as individuals as well. Please let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. As always, if you've stuck around this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for your time today. And of course, happy financing.